This is the all-new Opel Vauxhall Grandland. It's the first car in the brand to be on the new Stellantis platform. But what does that mean? How is it better than before? I'm AJ, you're watching Autogefühl, and let's dive right in. Up front, you notice the new, bold, but pure design language of the Opel cars these days. Highlighted by that, of course, is the front visor, which is an important design element. You also see the compass line, so you have a bold crease right in the front. And then towards the side of the lights, you notice that there's a wing-like design, another important design element. Talking about these lights, there's a couple interesting things as well. First of all, you'll notice that only the edges are illuminated, but if you look top down, these plastic pieces look completely transparent. It's a cool new design that makes it look quite futuristic, but also the actual optional matrix LED is now uprated to 50K, so it's a really dense matrix. This new platform makes the Grandland wider, but also longer. It stands 17 centimeters longer than before at 4.65 meters. The wheels are also nice and big. This is the 20-inch wheel design. I think it looks really nice, fills the wheel arches really well. We have to wait a little bit later to get more details on the different sizes. Another cool design element, if you look up here, is that these doors end on top of the rubber beading for the windows. And this makes it look very clean, very sharp, and seems like the window is just rising right out of the door without that rubber seal. So eliminating the chrome that usually gets kind of plastered here on the belt line, but using the sheet metal itself to add that finesse. I like it. Very clean, sharp roofline, contrasting color as well. And towards the end, if we look to the back now, we notice the other important callback to the design elements. If you can spot it, there's the tail lamp. This is the brake light, the third brake light, but it's vertical, and again with that Opel compass design language. Wing lighting, edge design, illuminated logo, yet again here in the back. And again, to round off the last bit of the green, economical, environmentally friendly design philosophy with no chrome, the Grandland lettering is just directly embossed into the sheet metal here on the tailgate. Overall, I really like this design. It's subdued but bold, and this copper color. All right, let's take a look inside. Check the door sound. Solid, no shimmies or shakes or wobbling. That being said, this is a pre-production prototype, so we'll reserve our final judgment for when we get to do our full road test, which means you guys need to subscribe so you don't miss that episode. Let's talk about the door interior quality and the materials, because they have really replaced a lot of the plastic with fabric, which looks really nice, has a nice soft touch and a great feel, but would be a little bit more tricky to clean if you get ketchup on it, for example. The plastics do exist, like for example down here, but all of the materials are recycled, so it's really nice to know that. Taking a look inside, a new steering wheel and great infotainment. So there's a 10-inch, very minimal, what they call detox, designed for the instruments with an optional head-up display and a large, wide 16-inch infotainment unit. The steering wheel really reminds me of that old Opel Roadster. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? If you owned one of those, let me know in the comments. And similarly, that compass design, you see the indentation on the top and of course the line down here. Nice, it's a single button, but at least you have physical buttons and you have little indentations and dips and lines to help you quickly place your finger exactly where you need to use these systems. Talking about the seats, again, they have really worked on using as much recycled material as possible, really nice and firm so that it's comfortable for long drives. And if you look down there in the base, why is there a butt crack? Well, this is designed to relieve pressure from the tailbone, so again, long drives are going to be really comfortable. So I'm excited to try that out for myself. Really nice driving position. I have plenty of headroom, a nice big panoramic glass roof as well, plenty of space. It feels like a really wide car. And these seats, you know, with this this butt crack, it doesn't feel strange. It feels really natural. So I'm curious to see how it performs on long drives with that, you know, relieving the tailbone's stress. Materials on the top of the dash are quite nice. Compass design element as well. This wide infotainment is really useful. I think I can really see the value in having it like this. Being a pre-production prototype, nothing works. It's just running an animation. But what I also really love is the fact that we have actual physical knobs and buttons for the volume, for the temperature and fan speed. So really well executed in my books. This is another funky, cool looking thing. What is it? Well, there you have your wireless phone charger and a couple USB-C ports. But when you do put your phone there, you can see my fingers through here. So sitting here as a driver, this angle kind of magnifies my phone screen for me so I can see what's going on without having to peer in. Useful or not, we'll see later on. This definitely is useful. This is a versatile slot, so you can move these individually, so you can create space for different sized cups and bottles, and even have a little space in the middle as well. Very Citroën, very Peugeot, so very Stellantis selectors here for the drive mode. Looks really nice. And finally, some extra storage below the center armrest. Some nice rubber-lined storage here as well. The doors are also quite nice. The top is a little bit hard, but the bottom is nice with that fabric and that padding. These seats are also, again, very comfortable, really wide, very ergonomic, and lots of storage space. Up here you have some spots to keep your phone and a larger back pocket that we're quite used to. Down here, air conditioning vents, although I don't see a separate temperature zone. Perhaps that's an option, so once we get the configurator, we'll get a closer look at that. Charging ports down here, galore, another spot to store some things. They've paid a lot of attention to storage. And another really nice little feature, you can see that there's, of course, ISOFIX points. And oftentimes, car manufacturers have like a plastic flap that opens or closes. But this is such a great way to do it. There's a zipper. You open the zipper, and that's your ISOFIX point right there. Why don't everybody do this? I think it's really fantastic. A lot of headroom. I'm 5'8" or 1.7 meters. So I have about that much headroom left, which I think is really good. Given that this is a skateboard architecture with the batteries down here, my knees are certainly not in an upright position, which tends to happen with these kinds of platforms. Also a total flat floor, no transmission tunnel. And this seat set to my driving position really gives me a lot of space to stretch my legs out. But even then, there's a scooped out back here for the seat. So you could, if you're taller, if you're like Thomas sitting behind Thomas, you can even use this extra sculpted space. And last but not least, center armrest with cup holders and a place to keep your iPad. And as standard, the Grandland will have 40-20-40 split folding seats. All right, let's take a look in the trunk. Now with this new Stellantis platform, the rear seats also have more room, but so does the trunk. In fact, this is 550 liters of boot space. If you were to put the seats down, it's 1,640 liters. It's quite a lot. For reference, here's Michelle's cabin trolley bag. You can see how easily it fits in. You can put two side by side. You can stack them vertically. And I've got the trusty Autogefühl German-style ruler across the middle where we have the longest length possible. We have just about 98 centimeters, which translates to about 38.5 inches. So long items, not a problem. And you can also adjust the floor. So you can also move this up, and in this way you have a flush loading area, so when you're removing your suitcases, you don't have to lift it over the lip. If you were to fold the seats down, you get a pretty flat loading bay, and this says it's 175 centimeters or about 69 inches. But the problem is there are no switches in the back to fold the seats. You got to come up here to do that. Opel has been quite tight-lipped with the specifications, but instead they gave me this. This is the Stella Medium platform. First appeared on the Peugeot 3008, and now the Grandland, of course, also as a Vauxhall, will be the second model in the lineup to have this. As you can see, this is a skateboard architecture, a born electric vehicle, because that's the space for the battery pack right there. That being said, knowing this platform, we can also expect the 1.2-liter turbo petrol with mild hybrid and about 136 horsepower front-wheel drive as an option. But of course, if you look back here, there's also an electric motor, so this can be an all-wheel drive.
So what we can do is take all the following figures from the new Peugeot 3008 sister model. A plug-in hybrid is possible, and the confirmed fully electric versions come as front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, taking 8.8 seconds or 6.4 seconds in the acceleration figure. The net usable battery sizes are 71 kilowatt hours and 94 kilowatt hours. Since we tested the 3008 with an average consumption of 15 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, or 4 miles per kilowatt hour, we can expect a real-world range in ideal conditions of 470 kilometers or 290 miles for the small battery and 630 kilometers or 390 miles for the big battery. Charging is 11 or 22 kilowatt AC, and the DC charging peak is 160 kilowatts. They promise 20 to 80% state of charge in under 30 minutes each. So since the Stellantis group make their cars always with very equal specifications, we can expect all of this for the new Opel or Vauxhall Grandland as well.
But of course, stay subscribed, because when we do our final review, we can test all of this and give you a better report. In the meantime, why don't you check out one of these other videos?